There's certainly a sort of an anarchic thread across the club. We actually got shot at one year.
They are a really eclectic bunch. They have been described by various people as a bit mad, and in my experience there are some nutters in there, but it's a fantastic group of people.
Oh, the Dark Peak Fell Runners, a bunch of free-spirited mountain runners.
Very, very friendly, kind of mad, kind of wacky club, I'd say, yeah. It's full of mavericks.
It's quirky, put it that way.
Was there a typical Dark Peak Fell Runner? No.
Nice. What happens when you let your balloons fly away?
I love Edale Skyline. I pretty much do it every year. It's a really nice race.
For this part of the country, you know, it's one of the toughest races.
It's very fast for a fell race because there's a lot of runnable sections.
It is one of the bigger fell races.
Hello, so it's about a minute to go.
It's got a lot of history, and it's just one of those races that, you know, if you get a chance to do it, you should have a go.
This race and the club's history are very much intertwined.
Dark Peak was formed back in 1976 as a fell running club, pure fell running club. There was a local climber called Don Morrison. He approached a chap called Chris Wurzel, who's a local fell runner, and Chris got a few friends together and organised what was the Edale Skyline race then, and realised it was quite difficult to organise a race just asking friends, so he decided he wanted to form a fell running club. He invited 12 of his friends to come round to his house, and Dark Peak Fell Runners was formed in his front room in 1976. And some of those 13 members are still around and still running with us today.
Of the original 13, there might be half a dozen or more that are still active. We call ourselves the old farts, we're the old guys.
We have people who are still running in their late 70s. Roger Bowmaster, who was one of the original founders, the guy who did the double bog Graham, he's still a member. He can't really run much anymore, but he still goes and does amazing things. So a couple of years ago, he did a challenge around Derbyshire and Staffordshire to 4 trig points, walking with sticks, and I think he broke the walking record. And he was in his, it was 73 or 4 or something or other.
I've got something planned for my 80th birthday, and there's a challenge that's called the Josh Naylor Challenge. I would like to have a go at doing it in 24 hours at the age of 80. And as far as I know, up to now, nobody else has done it yet, at 80.
People often say Roger's got a screw loose, and other club members as well.
And then you have the Leverett for your sort of the Dark Peak young guns.
Now they've got quite a healthy collection of young people that go out running on a regular basis as well.
No matter how much I train, I just love it. I don't ever regret going for a run.
I'm one of the less athletic members of the club. We have got members of the club that are incredibly athletic, and they are really, really good runners. You just see them go into almost every single race that's on the calendar.
When I first joined, I was actually not aware initially of the wealth of races that they did.
A lot of these guys, they just seem so unbreakable. I don't know what they're made of. They must be made of different stuff from me. They just seem to race hard, couple of pints, recover, next day they're at it again.
I like the competitiveness. I'm just a really competitive person, so I just want to be the best that I can.
Oh, I've got such a bucket list of races still to do.
And there were so many, and within a stone's throw from the Peak District.
They tend to quite often be in rougher ground where there's no paths, always a navigational challenge involved as well.
Grassy bit to the left of the block, under the block and then down.
You need to have a little bit of a sense of direction, but as you probably learnt from some Dark Peak members, that's not exactly true.
Up and over, direct, or do you want to swing round? Via cones. Swing round via cones. Just on trod. But that's more that way, isn't it? We want to sort of... Go straight then, straight.
There's quite a lot of it that's kind of very much off-piste. You know, there's a lot of places you can go that are not on public footpaths, and perhaps if you attempted to get from A to B and didn't quite know where you were going, you could rapidly end up, you know, walking around in circles and being given the Pertex award for it.
That's awarded every year at the club dinner, and various other things are awarded as well. With a smiling character. Nice and shiny. Have you had it polished, or do you polish it yourself?
I was awarded the club's award for navigational incompetence. I think the original inception of the award was that it would be for profound navigational incompetence, but since then it has been awarded for quite a few different things. It was once awarded to one of our guys up in the Lake District. He joined a search party looking for himself, and I think he was awarded the Pertex trophy that year for that one. I had the pleasure of awarding it to the current holder of the trophy.
Oh, Max, come on.
Yeah, so I've had some shockers this year. My navigation is something I really struggle with. So yeah, it's getting a bit of stick for navigation really. I know it's, you know, that's what I've got to work on.
We're at Coffin Rock, checkpoint 15, on the way back home to Race End. Just making sure that people take the right...
Encouraging people.
Yeah, that they take the right line through to Ringing Roger. First stop, Pete Vest through. Well done, lad. Hey, you're going to have to crack on here. Come on, lad. Push on, lad.
It's really nice running with a club because like people cheer you on and all the marshals are always really friendly.
Come on, drop, Pete.
The first year I ran it, it was really awful weather and ended up getting a hypothermia and being helped by mountain rescue off the hill.
People would say it's a baby mountain range, but it can still be pretty rough and ready.
The club was formed based around the name of the map, which was called the Dark Peak. The Dark Peak is really our métier.
When you live in Sheffield and the Peak District's on your doorstep, where else would you want to go running other than the Peak District?
Believe me, where you found me.
Peak District, I think, it's fairly unique in that it is not rocky, predominantly. There are some rocky outcrops and stuff. Because of that, the nature of the terrain is quite bushy heather, boggy bits. So you can quite inadvertently just run across the peak thinking it's firm ground, all of a sudden you're up to your waist. It happened to me a couple of times.
Like a diamond to the rough.
The brown vest is for the peat in the Peak District, and there's green and yellow and purple. So purple is the purple heather, yellow for the sun, and green for the bracken and grass and stuff. So it's the colours you will find on a summer's day in the Peak District.
I'm giving up.
And I love how it goes from sort of the purple heathers in July to the autumn colours are spectacular. The winters, there's inevitably snow up top, and that's a lot of fun.
When I first joined the club, they just ran in the summer, so they met on Wednesday nights and ran from the Sportsman pub. And it got to September, and I said, well, what do we do next week after the clocks change? Well, we don't run. I said, well, I'm going to run. If anyone wants to come up, come rain or shine, or snow, or ice, or wind, or whatever. And the winter runs were born.
If I have to go out in the snow, I have to go out in the snow, you know, and I quite enjoy it.
I think there's always this sort of perverse sense of enjoyment that, you know, getting back and having beaten the elements.
Down, oh, look like a sinner, feeling sorry for myself.
You can come back from those races with the shins bleeding.
If I be damned, you're going straight to hell. Your God don't love you anymore. My God, you don't love me.
The tip is if you fall over, fall backwards, because it's further to fall forward. Yeah.
I love how wild it can get out in the peat, especially up on Kinder. Putting yourself out in those elements, in those situations, getting yourselves into tricky scenarios, whether that be navigational or somewhere else.
1:42.25. I don't know what you've done. You'll find out in a minute, I think.
I've just been crawling in brambles 2 minutes ago.
Because you can run flat out through the trees, but if you come down the damn wall, steep, icy steps.
You know, whatever it throws at you, you get back, get into the pub, talk about, oh God, that was bloody freezing tonight, or... The founder of the club, Chris Wurzel, who lived just down the road, about a half a mile away, this was his local, so it became quite a tradition to run from here. My first run with Dark Peak was from this very place, and I've been coming here ever since.
Wednesday night, they have club runs on here. You'll start and finish from here, go out, come back and have a pint and chat to people and that. Always involves beer, usually. It's surprising how good a lot of people in the club are, but they're also very mad, and everyone, you know, a lot of people like drinking. Well, they often say it's a drinking club with a running problem.
Any event that brings the members together, it's never boring, put it that way.
We've got a history of organising all sorts of sort of odd things.
I love the club's little traditions that it seems to have maintained in the sort of 40-odd years that it's been about. You don't get that in a lot of modern-day running clubs. Some traditions which are almost too secret that I can't mention, but certain stashes that are hidden in the Peak District.
Many years ago, somebody decided it would be a good idea to hide a bottle of whiskey so that, you know, in the middle of a winter run in bad weather, you could stop for a quick nip of whiskey.
Oh, well played.
Yeah, good show there, Anna.
Make sure you're dancing tune.
Thought I'd gone too fast when I started climbing up back onto Kinder again, but managed to, just about managed to.
I guess it's just good to be in a good club and have a lot of support around.
Josh will be on now, I think. Here he comes. Go on, Josh!
I'm glad it's over.
It was horrible. Yeah. The race always is horrible, and I've done it enough times to realise it didn't really get any better.
At the moment, going back onto Kinder, I had to put my top on because I think I was getting a bit hypothermic. So after that, gone.
Hey, well done, you're right.
Time for a pint now, I think.
Keep me a page into your needs. Placate my tears for the songs we'd sing.
You kind of think of high competition being synonymous with kind of arrogance and things like that, but it's not at all. Most of the members in the club, even the really good ones, will always have a chat with you. Everyone's got time for you, and it's just nice, yeah.
I think with most clubs, even serious athletics clubs, there's always a social side.
And it's just a really, really kind of nice atmosphere to do these slightly daft things, but then to get back and, you know, you're all back in one piece and you've not lost anybody and nobody's injured, but you've all had a good laugh. It's a cracking club.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary or crazy, to be honest. I mean, we'd do this if there was no visibility in a howling gale, we'd still do it. So, I don't know really. Just seems normal.
I think Dart Peak encompasses that sort of freedom and joy of going out into the Peak District, or onto the fells anyway actually, with a bunch of friends generally, and just enjoying a run. It's a beautiful terrain. That's really what it's all about.
Excellence through misadventure. That is not the club's ethos. Do not quote me on that. But you asked me to distill down what I think Dart Peak stands for in a sentence, and I think that would do for me.